Hello, it's that time already where we have to begin reviewing for the quiz next week. Wednesday is the quiz, the chapter quiz, and Friday is the chapter test. The last grades for the second quarter. Man, halfway done. It feels like we just started. So let's begin reviewing. This is part one of the review for momentum. In this chapter, we talked about momentum. We talked about change of momentum. We talked about impulse. We talked about change in momentum equals impulse. Momentum doesn't equal impulse. Impulse equals change in momentum. Impulse equals force times time, Ft. So we have on the board, momentum is mv, that's easy. Change in momentum is mass times change in velocity. In other words, how do you change velocity? You accelerate or decelerate. Velocity changes, that's kind of obvious. Or change in momentum. Or a force is applied over time. Force acting over time. Force acting over time, force applied over time. So the change in momentum equals Ft, force applied over time. Now, your car. Remember I told you the stories when I was a kid. We didn't have seat belts. We didn't have padded dashes. They weren't standard. You had to pay a lot for that. A lot of extra. Back when I was a kid, a new car cost about $2,000, $3,000 at the most. $1,500 when I was a young kid. So, long time ago, and the technology was very different then. I'm not talking about anti-pollution devices, but just safety devices. Seat belts, crumple zones, that's where the car kind of, that accordion effect when it runs into something. Crumple zones, seat belts, padded dashes, anti-lock brakes, ALB, anti-lock braking, seat belts, airbags, bumpers, the bumper. You know, when I was a kid, the bumper was really to protect the car. But now, bumpers are, protect the car, but mainly now to protect the passenger, because they, along with safety glass, because the safety glass gives, if it breaks, if your head hits it, God forbid, it'll give. Safety glass also doesn't shatter into shards that can cut, go into eyes. It's kind of a gluey kind of mess. Stays together. So padded dashes, crumple zones, seat belts, airbags, bumpers, ALB, anti-lock brakes, safety glass. They all affect T. They elongate T. So they increase this. That's going to be constant. You're going 60 miles an hour, you have an accident, that's a certain change in momentum. It's constant. Well, if I increase T, I decrease the force. I decrease T by running into a tree without any anti-lock braking or anything else. Boom. Large F. When I was a kid, cars, when they ran into trees, didn't dent very much. They knocked over trees. The front end of a car, when it hits a tree now, the car is unrecognizable. Well, God, you had big cars, like they called them muscle cars, like the old Fury 3. I think it was Plymouth Fury 3. When that hit a tree, the tree was more damaged than the car. It was unbelievable. So that's the beginning. That's the first review of Momentum. And look for part 2 coming soon. Bye.